Hi everyone, Dr. Shook here. What I want to talk to you guys about today is this connection between Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune condition, and the expansion of autoimmunity to other tissues. Okay, so um, what we frequently see is this. If someone has Hashimoto's and the autoimmunity is not addressed, nothing is done to try and dampen or better regulate the immune system, and the autoimmune process just continues unchecked. What we'll commonly see is that there will be expansion to other tissues. Okay, so we know that if you have one autoimmune condition, you have a 52% chance of having expansion to other tissues of the body. So there's a very good possibility that you can have expanded autoimmunity. And where we see this very commonly occur is number one, in a condition called pernicious anemia, where the autoimmunity expands and attacks something called intrinsic factor in the lining of the stomach, and that impairs the body's ability to absorb B12, which results in problems with the red blood cells. So you can't carry oxygen efficiently, and it results in what we call pernicious anemia. Where we'll see the autoimmunity commonly expand to after that are the islet cells of the pancreas. So the islet cells of the pancreas, what they do is they control the release of insulin. So if you have progressive autoimmunity that expands to the islet cells of the pancreas, a lot of times this is later in life, and the person, their condition may appear to be type 2 diabetes, but because this doesn't usually just happen like that overnight and there's a progressive destruction of the tissue, a lot of times it goes undiagnosed until there's significant failure of the islet cells, and insulin is required. So it's a very realistic place and problem that can occur when you have expansion of autoimmunity. Now, the last place that we'll see the autoimmunity expand to, which is much more common with Hashimoto's, is to the cerebellum. Now, the cerebellum is the back part of the brain, and what we'll often see is that the person will start to develop issues with balance, dizziness, and nausea. And nausea, a lot of times from visual changes. So you can see like flashing lights or movement. They get motion sickness very easy, and that's because they have this inability to dampen the cerebellar output. And so what ends up happening is they have nausea. So one of the things that I really want to convey to you is that though Hashimoto's is minimized by a lot of people, um, really the medical community, the traditional standard medical community, realizes that about 90% of people that are hypothyroid, that have low thyroid function, they actually have Hashimoto's. That's why the insurance companies agree that it's necessary for you to have a checkup every 6 months or a year, because they know that if you have Hashimoto's, you're going to have progressive destruction of the thyroid gland. As the gland gets destroyed, you're going to have less capacity to make hormone. So checking it every 6 months to a year is reasonable because you may need more hormone progressively. So they're going to increase the hormone doses as you go. Okay, so they realize that there's autoimmunity, but it's primarily the autoimmune condition is being ignored. And it's not because they're bad people, it's just because they don't have tools or any medications to help you with that. And really, these are not problems that are medicatable. We don't have any kind of medication for the autoimmunity, and it's not something that your doctors are going to recommend anti-inflammatories for, or prednisone for, or immunosuppressants, which are recommended for more life-threatening autoimmune conditions like lupus or multiple sclerosis or rheumatoid arthritis or ulcerative colitis. Okay, so the thing to really keep in mind here is that they just don't know what to do. And the fact is that there's a lot of science that shows us we can do very significant and impactful things to help dampen the autoimmune process and hopefully put it into remission by addressing the drivers or causes of the autoimmunity. So the partially digested food peptides or food proteins, chronic infections, environmental chemicals, and then stressors that promote cortisol fluctuations or elevated or low cortisol all can drive the autoimmune process. So we can identify the drivers. We can detect those through advanced testing and be very specific, getting quantitative markers to address what's driving the process. Then what we do is we remove those. If there's an infection that needs to go away, we'll remove it. If there's a food, we take it out of the diet, right? And so the next thing that we would do is we repair. So then we repair the broken down systems of the body. We support the physiology. We support immunoregulation by making sure that your body has what it needs to function optimally. And that is a very powerful and effective way to help a lot of people with autoimmunity. And that is also how you dampen the autoimmunity so it doesn't expand as easily to other tissues. So you've got to work on improving the autoimmune process, or we really leave ourselves at risk for a lot of potential problems that can be even more debilitating and troublesome than Hashimoto's. So I really want to share this with you guys today. I think it's very important that you understand these concepts, because I think if I don't tell you, you may never hear it. So I'll share it with you guys and try to do my best to keep educating you so you can be your own advocate and you can take your health back. If you need anything, just let us know. We're definitely here for you, and I really appreciate you guys coming here to learn more about your health. And I'll talk to you guys on the next video. Thanks.